Example 2, model the following using a measurement interpretation. 3/5 divided by 1/4. So what have I strongly encouraged you guys to do? Because I figured out that modeling is tough for you guys. What can we do first, and then we can use model to support our answer? Okay. So we're going to go ahead and do the math first, and then we're going to try to come back and use the model to support our findings. So someone from table 1, if I'm going to keep, change, flip, what do I need to do? What do I need to keep, Brittany? The what? Caden, what am I keeping? Keeping the 3/5. Yep. So what is the product of 3 times 4? Everyone? What's the product of 5 times 1? Okay, so how many groups of 5/5 can I pull out of 12/5? With how many left over? Okay, little kids, mama rings for lunch. Who's gonna make inside first, the 12 or the 5? How many groups of 5 will go into 12? What is 5 times 2? So I have a difference of 2 left over. Remainders, we don't like remainders. Does it go in the numerator or the denominator? Numerator. And the denominator is the divisor, 5. Okay, so if the models confuse me, what I need to do is go ahead and do the math first, and then if we make our model, we can support our answer that way. Okay, so what this question was really asking was 3/5 is how many 1/4? Well, I know that I need to model 3/5 because that's what it's asking. How many 1/4 go into 3/5? So 3/5 is what I'm going to have to split apart. In order to represent 3/5, what do I need to draw? 5 sections. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fantastic. Now, yeah, I know that 3 of these are going to be occupied. But how do I relate fifths to fourths? Anytime I have to add or subtract a fraction, what do I do before that I can add or subtract? I have to make sure that it's the same size, right? Yes. So what's a common denominator between 5 and 4? 20ths. I can do that by multiplying 5 times 4. Are we okay, table 2? Are we actually writing this down? If I go around and I take up all of your notes for a grade, what's going to happen, guys? Are you going to have a good grade? Yeah. Okay. I can do all I can up here, but if you're not following along and trying to do your best, it's not going to do you any good. So in order to compare fifths to fourths, I have to find a common denominator. Yes, 20 is a common denominator. In fact, we're in luck because it's the least common denominator. So how do I represent 20ths with this whole? I have to split each of these fifths into how many pieces? Yes? Okay, if I already have 5 pieces, I need to split each piece into how many to show 20ths? 4. Because what is 5 times 4? So there's 4 twentieths. There's 8 twentieths. There's 12 twentieths. There's 16 twentieths. 20 twentieths total. Okay, so I need to try to find how many fourths are in here. So what's an equivalent fraction to 4 with a denominator of 20? 5? That's right. So I need to see how many groups of 5 I have down here. So let's look at that. Each one of these pieces are worth how much? 1. Each one of these little tiny pieces is worth 1 1/20th. Because how many pieces do I have total? 20. So each little piece is 1 out of 20. I can write that as a fraction of 1/20th. I know to see how many 1/4ths I have, I need to count by twentieths. 5 twentieths is equivalent to 1/4. So let's count by 5s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 1/4 right there. Because 1/4 is equal to 5 twentieths. Let's count by 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's another 1/4. Then how many's left behind? 2 fifths. Because each one of these quarters is one group of 1/4. So here's one group, 2 groups. Where do I see 2 groups over here? The 2. Where do I see 2 fifths over here? It's my remainder. It's what's left behind. So let's go back. Let's make this make sense. 3 fifths is how many 1/4ths? From here to here is 1/4, right? Yeah. So that's 1. From here to here is 1/4, right? Yeah. So that's 2. From here to here is not quite another group. I can't make it to 3. So I can't show 3, but I have 2 out of the 5. To show 2 out of the 5, I can just write the fraction 2 fifths. So this is how I can see my answer is 2 and 2 fifths. Ignore the model. Did we keep, change, flip? Yeah. Did we write an equivalent multiplication problem? Yes. Did we simplify? Yes. And we found simplest terms. Okay, now we drew our model. If I'm trying to find out how many 1/4ths are in 3 fifths, first I have to draw 3 fifths. 1, 2, 3 out of 5, 3 fifths. How many fourths are in there? I don't know. 1. Well, before I can find out how many fourths, I have to find a common denominator. And we figured out that if we multiply 5 times 4, that's going to be 20ths. That's a common multiple. That's a common denominator. And so then I have to figure out how many 20ths are in 1/4. Turns out there's 5. So here's 1/4, 1/4. So now I have 2 groups. How many 1/4ths? I have 2, and then some fraction, not quite 3, okay?